What is going on, Fan Clan? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Danny Phantump. Happy Thursday. Hope you guys are all doing well. Hope you're having a really good week so far. Tomorrow's Friday. Tomorrow is our Evolving Skies booster box giveaway. We're doing that every week until the end of August. So if you want to win one, go back, watch the video that we posted last week Friday. You just have to leave a like and a comment on that video and then make sure you're subscribed. Come back tomorrow to see if you won. We're going to continue that up until the end of August. One of my favorite card type rarities in the Pokemon TCG, it's not really a rarity, but card types in the Pokemon TCG is alternate arts. I just love so much about it, which is why I base a lot of my streams on it, on pulling an alternate art. I just love the stories. I love the stories that they tell, the detail. It's so great. And over the past year and a half, a lot of alternate arts have kind of hit the floor. Pokemon introduced alternate arts really at the end of Sun and Moon. They started throwing a lot of them out there, and then took a break at the beginning of Sword and Shield, and then with Battle Styles, it was like, boom, overwhelming. We had a lot in Battle Styles, a lot in Chilling Reign, a lot in Evolving Skies, and a lot in Fusion Strike. And then Pokemon kind of took a step back, and now I think we're at like the perfect point when it comes to alternate arts, where you get like 4 a set, 4 unique alternate arts per set, which really tell a story. They did a great job with that with Astral Radiance, with Brilliant Stars. It looks like that's going to be the case with Lost Origin, which is super cool. Also, the introduction of the Trainer Gallery, kind of the same thing. Lots of storytelling that's going on, which I think is super unique and really adds a lot to a collector piece. A lot of these alternate arts that came out over the past year and a half have really skyrocketed in price when they originally came out, because the hype of Pokemon was so insane. They came out at a point when Pokemon was at its like highest peak, and now since then, over the past year and a half, a lot of them has dipped down, and it really made me want to record a video on if this is the time now where you really want to start looking at adding these to your collection, because I don't know if they're going to get a whole lot cheaper. We're not going to spend time going over Brilliant Stars or Astral Radiance because those just came out. I want to focus on the ones that came out a year or more ago, especially with like Evolving Skies. We're coming up to the year anniversary of that, with that being released, and then Battle Styles and Chilling Reign. Some of them have really dropped down, and once we get to a point where a set has been out for a year and then some, that's when you really start thinking, okay, how much more of this set is going to be released? How much more of this set is going to be included in collection boxes? How many more booster boxes are they really going to reprint? And then once you start getting to a point where supply is no longer being provided to the community and no more packs are really being opened with all these collection boxes, that's when you really start seeing these packs, these prices really start leveling out and even kind of swing in the upward direction. So it makes me start wondering, okay, is now the time to start adding these pieces to the puzzle? Because maybe we waited on them. Maybe we waited on some of these alternate arts because they were so expensive, but now some of them are really starting to come down in price. So I'm going to flip you guys around so you can see what we're talking about. We're starting off with the Battle Styles set right here. We're not focusing on the more expensive ones like the Tyranitar. That one's up there in price, still hovering right around that $80 mark. We're paying attention to some of them that are a little bit more affordable, like the Single Strike or Shifu Vmax. Battle Styles is a very interesting set when it came out because there wasn't a ton of hype behind the set, but there was a ton of hype behind the chase, like the Empoleon and the Tyranitar, and it came out during a time where people were really struggling to find product, so a lot of product was open, even though Battle Styles was printed basically to oblivion. And that meant that a lot of these cards started out super expensive in price and kind of made a lot of people really timid when it came to buying singles, because they were seeing all these really high dollar signs, making them think, okay, Pokemon's going to be impossible to collect all these cards because they're so expensive. But now, as we look over the past year, a lot of these cards have gotten to a point where it's really relatively affordable to start filling out that master set, like this Single Strike or Shifu Vmax right here, which is a secret rare in the Battle Styles set. At one point last year, you're looking at a year ago now, we're studying the market over the past year on TCG Player. It was at $40.87 for this alternate art. It's done nothing but go down since then, sitting at $25.91 as a one-year low. It hit that a couple weeks ago, and now it's staying consistently at that point, sitting at $26.01 right now. If we look at the Empoleon V, this one's really interesting. It was at $31.17. It's an absolutely gorgeous card with the Mindfu hanging out in the background, the Phalanx chilling over there. Really cool artwork on this one. It was sitting at $31.17 about a year ago, but look at what it's done over the past 7-8 months. It stayed really consistent. Its low point, which it hit in November of 2021, was $21.19, and it's pretty much stayed right around that $22 mark over the past 7-8 months now, where it's sitting at $22.39 right now. If we look at this Urshifu right here, Urshifu V from Battle Styles, this is the Single Strike one, $17.66 is where it was about a year ago. It dropped down to $12.16 a couple weeks ago. It's sitting at $12.59 right now, but again, pretty much stayed consistent over the last 6 or 7 months right now, ever since February, where it hit close to that $13 mark. I would say. It's kind of hovered a little bit up and then kind of went back down where it's sitting right around within $1 of where it was about 7-8 months ago. If we look at the Rapid Strike Urshifu V from Battle Styles, this was sitting at $23.90 about a year ago, and it's done nothing but go down since then. Really started leveling off now over the past month. Hit $11.17 probably at the beginning of July there. It's gone up to $11.23, but still sitting really close to that 1-year low. And if you're looking at a cheaper alternate art alternative to kind of start filling out your collection, $11 for a card is really not that bad at all. Gallerian Zapdos was a very expensive card when the set originally released. I remember a lot of people going crazy about this card because of its Roadrunner appeal from Looney Tunes, right? It looks really cool. It's a beautiful, beautiful card. So much to the point that it was sitting at $68.40 a year ago, which is not too long after Chilling Reign came out. We're looking at a couple months after Chilling Reign was finally released, and it dropped all the way down to $39.20 at one point. It hit that a few weeks ago now. It's sitting at $39.34. But again, if you look here, really for the entire year of 2022 so far, it's hovered right around that $39, $40 mark. You can see it went up closer to that $55 mark in May and then kind of shot back down here where it's really leveled off, hitting right around that $40 mark. If we look at the Gallerian Articuno, same thing. The only real outlier here is the Moltres. The Moltres has stayed right around that $85, $90 mark. But a Gallerian Articuno, another really pretty looking card, $49.94 is where it hit. This one actually hit a 1-year high a little bit later. It hit it closer to November of 2021 before it dropped down to a 1-year low of $33.49 at the beginning of 2022. Then it's kind of rebounded a little bit. So you might see this card go down a few more dollars yet, but I don't see it going down a ton more. It's sitting at $38.04 right now, but closer to its 1-year low still than its 1-year high. And with Chilling Reign not being included as much in those collection boxes anymore that are coming out, like that Lucario V-Star, like that Cleaver box, moving forward, once we see more collection boxes that are probably going to keep including more of that Fusion Strike, Brilliant Stars, Astral Radiance, Chilling Reign is getting to the point where not as much is going to be getting open moving forward, so you might not see as many of these hit the market where it might really start leveling off in price. The Galarian Rapidash, this is an absolutely gorgeous card with the way the rainbow kind of works in it all, the lighting, absolutely beautiful. $36.44 is where it hit in September of 2021. It dropped all the way down to $24.56, and it's actually been climbing up since then, sitting at $31.51, actually closer to its 1-year high than its 1-year low, but really starting to slowly kind of gain some ground. So if this is something that you haven't added to your collection yet, you're still missing this on your masterpiece, might be a time to grab it before it gets back to that 1-year high price. If we look at the Shadow Rider Calirix V, this is a very pretty card. We pulled this yesterday on stream. Super exciting about it. It hit $38.40 at one point last year, and it dropped down to about that $22 mark, and it kind of stayed there for the last 7-8 months now. It jumped up to $23.84 is where it's sitting right now. At one point a couple months ago, it hit $21.46, but for the most part, right around that $22, $23 mark ever since the calendar rolled over to 2023, or 2022, so it's really been staying consistent since then. Blissey is a little bit of an outlier because of its competitive play, so that's why you see a lot more movement on this one. At one point last year, it hit $24. That was right around September of 2021. Then it dropped down to a 1-year low of $17.90. Went up again, went down again, went up again, and the reason it's going up is because it is a very competitive card. It placed extremely high at the Milwaukee Regional Tournament. Some people might be playing this for Worlds. A lot of people played this at NAIC. We know it's going to continue staying in format, moving on to the next season, so some people might be looking at an alternate art variant rather than the full art or the regular art, just because it's not too pricey right now, sitting at $23.28, but much closer to that 1-year high than 1-year low. If we look at the Galarian Slowking, fairly consistent over the past year. At one point it was at $23.51. It hit that last year and dropped down to $20.73. This is what we're talking about though. Not a whole lot of movement. Only $3 have changed over the past year since this card has been released. Not a lot of popularity when it came out, but it stayed very consistent after that. It did drop down to $20.73 in June. We're only looking at the 3-month standpoint for this one. So over the last 3 months, it's gone and changed $3. It did drop down to $20.73 at the end of June and then jumped up since then, sitting at $22.47 currently. If we look at the Ice Rider Calirix V, this one hit $34.05 last year in August, September kind of, $20.39. So it's dropped about $14 over the past year. It hit its 1-year low, looks right around April, and then kind of went up a little bit in May, and now it's kind of dropped back down closer to its 1-year low where it's sitting at $21.41. But again, over the last 6 months or so, it stayed really consistent right between that $20 and $23 mark. Same thing with the Tornadus V, which at one point was at $25.90. That was back in September of 2021. It dropped down to $15.63 at the beginning of June, went up a little bit since then, sitting at $18.13. But look, it's been very consistent since November of 2021, hanging right around that $18 mark. So a lot of things that have gone down in price over over the last few months, but some of these older alternate arts have really kind of leveled off and are staying maybe at their lowest price it's going to get. If we look at Evolving Skies, which just released with its third or fourth print wave, whatever it is, more packs are being cracked, more product being open. You can see singles are starting to slowly come down a little bit. If we look at the Noivern V right now, we're looking at about a 1-year anniversary. This was released in August of last year, so here we are right at the beginning of August, end of July in 2022. This card, when it came out, was a $50 card. This Batman Noivern, absolutely lovely with the skyline behind it. Dropped down to $26.61 in March of 2022, went up a little bit, sitting at $27.97 right now, so not too much of a gain. It's been very consistent since January of 2022, really this entire year. It's stayed right around that $26, $28 mark, right around there. Same thing with the Doraleon Vmax. You can see when this card came out, it was a $60 secret rare. It dropped like a rock right away, went down to about $24.39. That was in November of 2021, and it's hovered right around that $24, $25 mark over the last 10 months now, where it's just stayed very consistent. The Doraleon V hit $33.01 upon release, dropped down to $15.46. That was in January of 2022. Went up a little bit and then went back down. It's sitting at $16.55 right now, but for the most part, again, stayed very consistent. So we might see these alternate arts kind of bottoming out, some of these cheaper ones, which is kind of why I want to talk about them, so you can add them to your collection if you think it's a good time for yourself to purchase. The Gallerian V, $30.09 upon release, dropped down to $16.04 a few weeks ago. It's sitting at $16.24, but you can see here, very consistent over the past 6 or 7 months. Same thing with the Medicham V. This one came out at $29.99. I love the artwork with all the Pokemon hanging out in the background on the cliff there. Dropped down to $11.60 at one point. That was at the beginning of July, end of June in 2022, and it's done nothing really since then. It's at $12.32. So $12 alternate art, something that looks this awesome. Very, very affordable. Same thing with the Celibi V. Celibi V, a very cool card from Fusion Strike, was one time at $47.23 upon release. The set came out in November of 2021, dropped down like a rock. That was because Fusion Strike just didn't have the popularity, and there's still a lot of Fusion Strike that is being open and going to be produced, but I wanted to kind of pay attention because these are starting to go down to a point where maybe you want to start looking at them. It's sitting at $21.78 right now. It hit a 1-year low a couple weeks ago of $20.81. We've got 4 more that we're going to look at here. The Genesect V came out swinging at $62.49. The breakdancing Genesect, absolutely beautiful with the Smurgle hanging out in the background. Dropped down to $21.55 in June of 2022. It's gone up a little bit, sitting at $22.34 right now, but really started to level out. Also, same thing with the Empoleon Vmax. At one point when this card released, this was an $89.99 card. Dropped down like a rock. Look at that, $21.34 is its 1-year low, which is where it's kind of hanging out right now. But you can see from the graph over the last 7-8 months, it's really been between that $20 and $30 mark. Greedent V started out low, went up a little bit because of some hype behind it just being Greedent. Hit $18.57 before it dropped really hard. It's at $11.53 right now. It hit a 1-year low in June of $10.43. Climbed back up a little bit, but again, a very cheap alternate art, not too bad. And then we've got the Sandaconda, which came out only at $18.97 for an alternate art, hanging out here by the radiator, just kind of slithering around the kitchen maybe. Very, very cool looking card. $18.97 upon release, but really just kind of hit a wall right away and dropped all the way down below $10, and it's been staying there ever since then. Sitting at $5.33 for a 1-year low, which it hit in May of 2022, and it hasn't gone up much since then. It's sitting at $5.93. But these are all really good looking cards, a really cool piece that Pokemon has added to their repertoire of amazing artwork. All these are telling stories, and I love the artwork that are attached to them. I just really, really enjoy alternate arts. But let's face it, some of them can get really expensive, like that Charizard from Brilliant Stars, which is selling for right around that $160, $170 mark. So some of those might be out of the question for some people, but you can add a bunch of these for the same price, you know, as that Charizard V. So some of these being cheaper right now, might be time to start looking at them. Wanted to throw that out there just to kind of give you guys a brief market update on some of these, just in case you haven't looked at them too closely. So if you do enjoy that, please leave a like and a comment down below. It goes a really long way for the algorithm and helps spread the video. Share the video, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. You guys are amazing. You mean the world to me. Thank you so much for everything. I will talk to you soon. Peace.